Have you ever wondered what Wizard101 would look like if the players had the chance to actually design the game? Well, look no further. In today's video, some community members came together and actually redid some of these spells that KingsIsle has put out, and we're going to be reviewing that in today's video. I'm going to be giving my 2 cents on these spells, whether I think they're good or not, and as always, let me know down there in the comments below if you guys think these spells are any good at all, or if you think they're worse than what are currently in the game right now. But if you guys enjoy this kind of content on the channel, best way to let me know is by leaving a like rating and subscribe if you are new. I do post every day, if not every other day, and I'd really appreciate it. And I do stream at 7 p.m. Central Time over on Twitch if you want to check that out. Shameless plug, by the way. Let's get right into the video. Starting off with the School of Fire, we have Firecat. Deals 40 to 60 damage, destroys 1 damage over time to deal all the remaining damage in a single attack. So this is basically the exact same as Live Realm Firecat. I'd say Live Realm Firecat is not terrible right now in terms of the meta and stuff like that. It's a cool card, but it's not fantastic. I don't really think it needs changing. Fire Elf. Deal 150 fire damage over time over 3 rounds. Removes 1 positive ward on the enemy, which is a shield. To place a 160 healing over time on yourself that lasts 4 rounds. Now, I think this one's actually worse than Live Realm Fire Elf. If this gave you 2 heal over times, kind of like Live Realm Fire Elf is, like if you had a way to choose between Live Realm and this one, I think that'd be the best way to balance Fire Elf in my opinion. You could pick over having 2 hots to Gambit or 2 dots to Gambit. I think that'd be a really cool idea. Sunbird removes up to 3 positive wards, again, that is shields, on the enemy for up to 3 chromatic damage over times that last 4 rounds. And then it deals 245 fire damage. So, this is basically setting up a Gambit in 1 turn, taking off shields and hitting. So, I guess this is almost like Elephant, Live Realm Elephant in a way, but this sets up a Gambit for less pips. So, very punishing if somebody is stacking shields. I'd like that card. It's pretty cool. Immolate. Deal 180 damage to yourself. Deal 460 protected fire damage over time for 4 rounds. Remove up to 3 negative wards for 126 fire damage per negative ward to create fire damage over time that lasts 3 rounds. That's a lot. Basically, what he's saying is it's like regular Immolate, but you get a protected overtime for your damage. And then you can clear 3 traps on yourself for 3 overtimes on your opponent. So it's like a 1-turn Gambit setup. This is basically Live Realm Immolate, I believe, right now. Phoenix. Now, this is my favorite one out of all of these. The Fire Elf and this one are my favorite fire spells. Deal 480 to 500 damage, which is kind of mid for a fire. Remove up to 3 negative words. I'm just going to call it traps for you guys. Remove up to 3 traps on yourself for up to 3 35% universal damage over time traps on the enemy. Now, think of this as like a hit in Jin's reversal. So you're doing pretty good damage, right? Breaking a shield, and then you're also setting up your Gambit in a turn. So I think this kind of spell right here, Phoenix, this should be in the Live Realm game in my opinion. I think this is a really great spell and a really great idea. And I'd really like to see KingsIsle implement something like this into Live Realm. Elephant. Sacrifice up to 2 existing damage over times for an additional 175 per damage over time. Then deal 595 damage. So basically this would do like, I don't know, almost like 900 damage I think or something like that. If you sacrificed your damage over times for 1 big 900 damage hit. So I think this is a pretty cool spell in my opinion. I think people would definitely run this. My top 3 favorites here, I'd have to say, are probably Phoenix, then the Fire Elf that I suggested, and I think Elephant would be pretty cool too, and I think Sunbird would also be pretty interesting as well. So yeah, that was pretty neat. Next up we have Ice. Frost Beetle basically is the same thing as Live Realm Frost Beetle, but it's a little bit worse to my understanding. Snow Serpent. Remove up to 2 blades on the enemy for up to 2 25% ice traps on the enemy. This is not terrible, I will say, because it's kind of like Ice Wyvern, but it's less pips, so you could keep your pips up, which is actually a pretty cool thing, in my opinion. I think this spell, for 2 pips, it would honestly be pretty good, and, yeah, I like it. Snowman, deal 175 ice damage, remove up to 3 blades on the enemy for up to 35 chromatic shields on yourself. Oh my god. Yeah, these blade counters are really good. I will say that these are really good blade counters. And what I like about what they did here is the blade counters are very cheap on pips for both ice and other people to use. And other people could use these and actually like see some value as well. So I do think, you know, since ice is supposed to be the hardest one to punish blades with, I do like that these are really low on pips and they're really good utilities. Ice Wyvern, remove up to 3 negative charms, basically weaknesses on yourself for up to 35% chromatic shields on yourself and then hit and do damage. So again, you're just taking off weaknesses on yourself, putting shields on, and then hitting or getting some tempo. Again, just punishing weaknesses very well and a great pivot move. Lighthound, remove up to 3 negative charms on yourself. Again, weaknesses for up to 25% universal weaknesses on the enemy. So you're basically doing like a Jin's Vexation, and then you're hitting. So it's kind of like the Ice Wyvern. You'd pick between Jin's Vexation or Glacial Fortress with these cards, but they're like pivot tempo moves. So pretty cool, in my opinion. Colossus, Gambit a shield for an extra, you know, couple hundred damage, and then 485. So if I have 3 shields on myself, I could, you know, like an elemental shield, I could Gambit those for an extra 300 damage per pip. So I'd be looking at about 785 damage on a Colossus, which is really good when I'm giving up those shields. I think that is pretty neat. I think 785 is a bit much. I think like 685, only 2 as opposed to 3, I think would be better. More balanced, in my opinion. Oh boy, the storm spells. Oh lord, what did they do to my school now? Alright, Thundersnake. Deal 90 damage. Sacrifice an existing blade on yourself to place a chromatic blade on yourself. Okay, I like this one a lot. Because you can actually... It's kind of like a vampire effect, but like 4 blades on yourself. So I think that's really cool, and you can pip conserve this. So I think that'd be really cool, you know, seeing something like that in Live Realm. Lightning Bats, hit, clear in overtime for a single weakness. Not that great, but to be fair, the Live Realm, Lightning Bats is also really bad. So I don't really know. I would prefer this giving 225 weaknesses. Storm Shark, deal 370 damage, remove up to 2 damage overtimes on yourself for up to 2 chromatic blades on yourself. So I think that's basically Kraken in Live Realm right now, but it's 1 less pip. So, I mean, maybe that's better. I'm not sure if it's better or not. You know what? I would argue that's better, actually. But that being said, I don't think Kraken's like bad in Live Realm at all right now. But really neat idea. Kraken, deal 460 damage, remove up to 2 heal overtimes on your enemy for up to 2 30% chromatic blades on yourself. So this is basically Live Realm Triton, because I think 6 pips to counter 1 heal is kind of nuts in my opinion. I think a lot of people agree with that statement. Stormzilla, deal 635 damage, remove up to 2 heal overtimes on the enemy for up to 2 healing overtimes on yourself that last 4 rounds. So you're basically clearing a heal, and then you're setting up a Thundering Djinn. Maybe that's decent. I'm not really sure. You could probably make that work with a strategy. Triton, sacrifice up to 3 existing positive charms for an extra 145 per charm. Deal 775 storm damage. So this would be like a really, really, really powerful card, y'all. This should be like... How much damage is that? That's like 1100 or something on a Triton. I think one thing I don't like about this is the fact that you're gambiting blades. Like at that point, like why would you just not go for like a Scion, you know? I would like to see this be like, if I have a blade on myself, like an elemental blade, and I have like a, you know, a fire and ice blade left over, I would get extra damage for those 2 blades. Myth's Bloodbath, deal 70 myth damage, sacrifice 1 negative word on the enemy for a trap, a 35 chromatic trap on the enemy. Okay. That's interesting. So that's basically saying like it'll break a shield. No, it'll break a trap. I can't tell if that's saying a shield to a trap or a trap to a trap. I think that's saying a trap to a trap. So you turn a bad trap into a good trap on any school for 1 pip. So I think that's pretty cool. Control, remove 1 negative overtime on yourself, and then get 1 deferred damage overtime and hit. I think this is just flat out worse than the live realm troll. I'll say that. Cyclops, remove up to 3 negative weaknesses on yourself, hit, and then get up to 3 chromatic traps based on the amount of weaknesses you have on yourself. So you're basically taking off weaknesses and putting traps on chromatic traps, and then also like hitting and breaking a shield in the same turn. Minotaur, basically be Minotaur and then clear up to 3 shields on the enemy for up to 3 shields on yourself. So right now this is currently chromatic traps in live realm, which I honestly do prefer, but this one's pretty neat as well. I think the shields would have to be a lot more powerful. If this was going to be better, like at least like, I don't know, towers or something. Stone Colossus, sacrifice up to 3 existing traps on the enemy for an additional amount of damage per ward, and then hit. So basically, if I have traps on my enemy, I'll gambit those for extra damage, which is kind of a common theme you're seeing here. I've noticed on all of these 6 pip hits. Death's Dark Sprayed. Okay, so you hit and then you sacrifice a weakness on your enemy for a better weakness. So kind of like Vampire. Okay. Cool. You hit, you clear an overtime for a shield. Okay, I think Live Realm goes way better. I'll say that. Banshee, you hit, you clear a protected overtime for an infection. Not bad, but I think Live Realm Banshee is way better. Is Live Realm Banshee a little bit broken? Yeah, probably, but I think it's a downgrade. Vampire, hit, and then clear up to 3 blades on your opponent for 3 weaknesses. So that's basically just, you know, punishing blades heavily, I would say. I think this is a very powerful move. Pirate, hit, and then clear 3 blades on the enemy for 3 blades on yourself. Wraith, sacrifice up to 3 weaknesses on your enemy for an extra 75 damage times 3. So again, we're seeing the common trend here of your main school identity on your 6 pip gets sacrificed for like a bigger hit, basically. So pretty interesting here for the death stuff. I'd say my favorite one is probably Vampire and Pirate. In life, we have Imp, which is basically hit and detonate a heal. We already have that. It still sucks. Leprechaun, hit and remove up to 2 traps on yourself for up to 2 life blades on yourself. I think that's kind of bad. I think the new Leprechaun's better in Live Realm, even though that one's kind of bad too. Nature's Wraith, hit and then remove up to 3 traps on yourself for up to 3 healing overtimes that last 4 rounds. Okay, this is really good. This right here is a good trap counter. If you're watching the devs, this is good. Very low on pips, good tempo, very good tempo, and you can threaten a gambit out of it. This right here is what we mean when the community says we need like better trap counters. Seraph, hits, removes up to 2 damage overtimes on yourself, so like a protected overtime, and then you get 2 healing overtimes on yourself. So basically, you're clearing a protected overtime, and then you're setting up your gambit and healing in 1 round for 4 pips. Pretty solid counter. Then Centaur, obviously, it's the same as what we've seen so far. You'll just gambit what you have on your main school identity. In this case, heal overtimes for extra damage. So yeah, what do I think about all of these? I think these are pretty good. I would say a lot of these spell changes are a lot better than what we have in Live Realm, arguably, because obviously the people who made these, you know, they actually play the game. They understand how, you know, bad certain things are. Like, you know, why Centaur in Live Realm and Triton in Live Realm are just, yeah, they're the only counters you have, but they're not good counters, you know? Having something like Nature's Wraith would be a very solid counter for like schools like a Life, Storm, even Fire. I could see dual schooling with Life if, you know, Nature's Wraith was a thing. So, you know, if there would be a dev watching this and, you know, seeing some of the cards that the community has made here and like the pips they put it at, I would highly suggest y'all do take inspiration from these because they are very, very cool ideas. And yeah, shout out to Kermit and his friends for making this, and thank you for letting me make it into a video. I had a lot of fun reviewing this, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down there in the comments below. And yeah, without further ado, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care, y'all.